I had no idea what to expect when I got to the city of Guanajuato. I grew up speaking Spanish, but English is definitely my dominant language. I had been to Sonora, Mexico, as well as some Arizona, Mexico border towns, but I had always gone with family or friends who did most of the talking. Here I was in the beautiful city of Guanajuato, yet I felt so out of place. How was I, Mexican American, born and raised in the U.S., but so disconnected from Mexico? I questioned whether the feeling of being a foreigner in a country my family came from would go away. Will I enjoy living with the host family? Were my Spanish, or maybe as some people might say, Spanglish, skills good enough to get by? To my surprise, in 7 short weeks, Guanajuato became my home away from home. Within the first few days of trying to find my way around the city, getting caught in the rain, trying new food, talking to locals, and getting to know my host family, I realized that this was not the Mexico many of my American friends thought of. Everyone had told me to be very careful. Mexico is dangerous, they would say, yet I felt so safe and incredibly welcomed. To my surprise, my host's mom, Fatima, and the rest of La Familia Ordóñez told me I spoke Spanish very well. They instilled in me the confidence to integrate new vocabulary when I spoke Spanish. I was no longer embarrassed of my Spanglish skills, but proud to be bilingual. I began to feel more connected to Mexico when I learned more about its history. This deepened my appreciation for where my grandparents and great-grandparents had came from. Going to museums, visiting universities, and speaking to college students pursuing similar degrees as me was inspiring. I no longer looked at Mexico through the stereotypical lens I grew up with. I looked at Mexico for what it really is, a beautiful country of people with similar goals and aspirations as us Americans. My experience working in the elementary schools was by far my favorite. Along with my friends Vianney and Hillary, I worked in a school in the city as well as in the rural community of Cajones, just outside of Guanajuato. Our project at both schools was to help struggling students with their reading fluency. At first I was very nervous because I had never taught someone how to read, much less in Spanish. To my surprise, I was better than I expected. The children were eager to learn, which made it easier, and many times were the ones teaching me. We were fortunate enough to work with the same students every time we were at the school Jaime Torres Botet in Cajones. When we got to the school, the children were very happy to see us and oftentimes would ask us if they could read more. Seeing their excitement to read, even though they were struggling with many words, was surprising. Their excitement definitely rubbed off on me, and seeing them every week was great. Reading the Spanish books with all the children was not only a great way for me to expand my vocabulary, but also further connected me with the Mexican culture. My last week in Guanajuato was spent running a workshop at Resplandor. Resplandor is a magical place founded by Dr. Fletcher in Cajones, where they provide opportunities year-round for adults and children in the community to visit the library, participate in dance classes, and other workshops. But every summer, Resplandor dedicates 2 weeks to hosting a summer camp for the children in the community. With the many workshops put on by the University of Arizona students in the Verano in Mexico and Vivir Mexico programs, Resplandor becomes a place of true happiness for children. It was awesome that the summer camp took place in Cajones because many of the children who we worked with at the schools had also came to the camp. Thanks to Resplandor and all the loving people in the community, I no longer felt like a foreigner in this country. By the end of the summer, I could truly say I had fallen in love with Guanajuato and most importantly, Mexico. The beautiful views, the people, the food, the music, the crisp walks and windy roads, the weather, the lifestyle, and the happiness the city gave me. Thank you, Guanajuato, for one of the best summers of my life.